We're going to learn about value by making a snowman. You'll need blue paper, white chalk, blue chalk or crayon, and crayons. To start out with, I'm going to use the width of my forefingers to leave a space on the bottom. I'll make a little mark, and then I'll put the lowest sphere of my snowman right on top of that mark. You'll need the space below for a shadow later on in the drawing. I'll put another sphere on top and the smallest sphere on top of that. I meant to overlap them, but I forgot, so it'll just be a very well balanced snowman. I'm going to put a mark in the upper right hand corner to show where my light source is. This could be the sun or the moon. So let's check. I've got a space below, I've got my 3 spheres, and I've got my light source. The light is going to come down at an angle from the sun, and that angle, you don't have to draw it, I'm drawing it. You can if you want. It's going to tell me where the light is hitting my snowman. Where's the brightest part of the snowman going to be? On the leading edge. So I will take my chalk and I'll start to fill that in a little bit. I can blend it with my fingers. There comes a point when you can put on so much chalk that it doesn't make a difference anymore. So don't go that far yet. Just put some of it on. These spheres are starting to look a little bit like Oreos, where someone's taken part of the filling out. By the way, I'm just using blackboard chalk that I found in my art room. If you're using a white pastel, it's going to be softer and behave a little bit differently. I can go back into the center of the sphere and put a light amount of chalk on, because the light in the center of the sphere is starting to turn a little bit. And that sphere is going to become darker on the back side, the side that's furthest away. So now, this happens to be a blue crayon. You just want to use a little bit of it, just a light touch. And I will put that blue crayon on the back side of where the light is touching. I just want to use a little bit, and I don't want to press very hard. When you look at paintings of snow scenes, most of the shadows are blue or bluish gray, and that's true when you look out your window at the snow as well. So again, not too dark, just a little bit on the back side there. I can go back in and make that leading edge that's closest to the light even brighter with just a little line of chalk on the edge if I want. I'm going to begin to go back into the middle of the sphere again and add a little bit more chalk. Swirl it around with my hands. Every time I swirl, I probably take that leading edge down a little bit, and it's not as bright as it was, but I can always go back and add some more. Some people find doing value spheres like this a little bit like meditating. They find it very relaxing. So I'm checking my light again, my dark side again. Now I need a horizon line because I don't want my snowman just floating off in space. So I'm going to put it behind the lowest part of the snowman. And I'm thinking, where is my shadow going to be? I'm following that same line that I've been drawing to figure out where the snowman's shadow is. And I'm going to try to draw kind of a squished version of the snowman at that same angle on the ground. I will outline each sphere for you, but you don't need to do that. I will give a little bit of crayon right in the darkest part, but mostly that blue is going to look like a shadow because it's not going to get filled in. So now I can go to town with my chalk. I want to be pretty careful to go around that shadow because the lines are probably going to be nice and crisp if I was really outside looking at a snowman. I'll fill it in all the way out to the edge. I do encourage you to take your artwork out to the edge of the paper whenever you can, because it makes for a good finished look. Takes it from being a practice or a study to a finished looking piece. I'll try to rub out these little lines that I made. They're not coming out. That's okay. Now I'm ready to add some details, and I'll show you a few and then let you do the rest on your own. So I'll show you how to do a highlight on a top hat. Just draw a regular looking top hat here. I'm going to start with my chalk. I'm sorry my hand's covering it up, but you'll see it. I've just done a little line, the line that's closest to my light source, and then ever so lightly I'm going to begin coloring with a crayon. And the further I get away from my light source, the darker I will be with my crayon. Sometimes there's a leading edge that's dark, and I can do the same thing with the brim of the hat. I can do a little highlight on the front. It's amazing what stepping away from your artwork will do. I sat so close to it that I didn't realize that that hat looks like it's falling off. I'll keep working on my shadow a little bit, making it super dark just right at the base of the snowman, because that's where it's going to be the darkest. I'll put in some eyes, and I'll do my eyes in a little crescent shape, which suggests that there's a highlight on that eye where the sun or the light source would be touching it. I can do the same thing with the buttons. So imagine drawing a crescent with like a letter C tilted up looking at the light source. I realized that I did a charcoal nose and I wanted a carrot nose. So here's the fun of fixing things when they didn't go as planned. I'll still shove a carrot right there between the eyes, and I'll just try to make a tiny little mouth on either side. And I'm still sticking with my highlights. I can use crayons to do all sorts of things. I can make a scarf for my snowman. I could put him in a suit and tie if I wanted to. I could put this snow person in a dress. So many choices that you can make. You can have an animal walking up to your snow person, maybe thinking about stealing the carrot. And I want to show you how to do highlights on something delicate like stick arms. So here I go, putting in a branch for the arms. Notice I started it inside the sphere. And I'm going to take my chalk and just on the top side, the side that would be closest to the sun, I'll just put a few simple lines where the sun would be hitting the top of the branches. Looks pretty convincing. I'll do the same thing with the arm on the back side. That won't really have as many highlights because that arm will be in shadow. You can also do some snow. Just don't go crazy with the snow. You want the picture to be about the snowman and not a whole lot of snow going crazy all over the sky. So if you drew that light source and you want to get rid of it, you can. And at this point, you may continue and add whatever things you want.